when dude was trying to ask me about that, the spoken word versus the rap, as in what I used to do, because I didn't really, I mean, I tried out the whole rap thing, right? The only reason, the intention in relation to when I was making like rappy type of tracks is because of the club vibe. When you got a DJ and he requests that you rap on beats, that's when it come rap. But my lane and my area from the beginning was always spoken word, which is at a slower, more mellow pace. And not only that, it's for more so open mic sessions, say like at a classy type of club. Why was I gonna say glassy? Classy type of club, right? The atmosphere is more jazzy and laid back. It's a difference. Some people say spoken word and they mean rap, but when I say spoken word, I more so mean spoken word. It's two different things. People that come from the genre of hip hop know it's two different things, and yet sometimes you do have rappers that do in fact call themselves spoken word artists. But the pace in the area of delivery is completely different. See how I'm standing here talking? This could be considered spoken word, and yet it's not. You know what I'm saying? Once you get on the TV screen, some people might consider that, well, you're just speaking a vocal tone or whatever. But in relation to dude wanting to hear the track that let me see, because I had many tracks, but out of all of them, the one I can remember the most with the spoken, like I had one called Liquid Emotions. I can't remember none of that. Most of my old stuff I cannot remember. Poor memory in that area. But the one that I had, If We Kiss, that's the one I remember the most, but it was even ones way before then. But when I started it out, the spoken word, once again, was the laid back vibe. That's how the track started out. It was, in our kiss, see Var's bliss. But it was more mellow than that. In our kiss, see Var's bliss. And if we kiss, I know that we'll hit every inch within my soul, your control. For what kiss I will give. Several inches of my body, my soul, with your control to tell you this. That's how when I got the track going. Because see, I had wrote it first. Some people get a beat and they write to the beat, but I didn't do it like that. I did it backwards. I wrote it first and then I set it to a beat. I didn't even know how the beat was going to sound. And not only that, the first beat was for the spoken word version, and then I came along and followed it with the club version, which was the rap version. So the first spoken word version was, in our kiss, see Var's bliss. And if we kiss, I know that we'll hit every inch within my soul, your control. For what kiss I will give. Several inches of my body, my soul, with your control to tell you this. Said I feel so rich. Drowning in the stitches of dreams and kisses. Staring in each other's eyes. Stuffs our hearts every time. And I bet this on the 20. Every time I see ya, my sanity, it wants to die. Hypnotized within the circle of a tie. Shifting so hard. Like that, it was much more mellow than that. And I can't even reach it because the tone of my voice, and then I'm older. But then the rap version after that, the club version, was much more speeded up. And not only that, it was much more domineering, like in your face. So the spoken word version was more collective and laid back. And I'm a woman, I'm a female, I just want to tell you about the kiss and the love. That's what that was. But the club version was not that. It was like all the way in your face like that. So the club version was highly aggressive and propane, like the delivery I'm saying. So I can't reach the tone of it because once I said my voice was more younger and not fully developed back then. But my voice was higher. As if I attempt it now, it's not the same. So the rap version was like this. And our kiss evolves bliss. And if we kiss, I know that we'll hit every inch within my soul. Your control for what kiss I would give. Several inches of my body, my soul, were your control. To tell you this, said I feel so rich, drowning in the stitches of dreams and kisses, staring in each other's eyes, thoughts of hearts every time, and I bet this on the 20 every time I see ya. My sanity, it wants to die, hypnotized within the circle of a tie, shifting so hard, but never wonder why. Love places me in a warm seat for you and for the ride, and if we kiss, there be bliss, lips fiending for your whisper, for your kiss, exchanging kisses, hearts would it never be missing each when we're both away. And then it was the singing part. The kiss of love, the kiss of peace, kissing letting you with me forever throughout eternity. And if we kiss. But that part I can't even go up either because I done aged so much. So, but yeah, the if we kiss part, that used to be my track. The spoken word aspect used to be my track. Yes, dude. Yes, it did. So the rhyme patterns, I had even worked on my, because see, that was like way, way back. But I had even worked on my rhyme pattern even much more outside of that, as in speeding it up, slowing it down, flipping certain words, doing all type of things like that. But I don't know, the older I get, I said that before, I'm not really on word. I'm still kind of a little bit on spoken word, a little bit, because I did some mic sessions back in the day, as well as help start a poet society at college some years back. But I don't know if that would make me feel out of my element if I was to get up in front of everybody with a microphone and just did some love off the top of my head. Cause see, most of the stuff I have poor memory. Got what I'm saying? So to have poor memory is to skip lines and not really remember your lines, and then be delivering stuff off the top of your head. Like when I used to record, do a lot of bedroom recording, even at the studio, I had stuff written down, like pre-written. And as I was rapping it or doing spoken word as I was going, I would skip lines and throw my own stuff in there and then go back to the thing that I wrote out. I don't know why my brain is like that, but I would put stuff in that was not there and still stay within the rhyme pattern. Like I wouldn't mess up. I could be on the first line, I skip the second line, throw something in there as I'm going along, go back to the third line, right after the third line, skip the fourth line, throw something in between the third and fourth line, go back to the fourth line, and then keep going. So it's like I'm almost kind of like freestyling off the top of my head, certain words that will rhyme. It's just weird, like how my brain does stuff. I think stuff like this in a box, kind of like how Tetris is. That's how my brain thinks and operates. So to get on stage with a microphone and do some spoken word, I don't know, the older I get, I'm kind of on that, but not really. I like stuff in this. The more I go with this video thing on YouTube, I'm starting to like this. It's different. I ain't really got to write nothing out. I can show what I want to. It's actually better than Facebook and Twitter, right? But doing stuff publicly, I don't know. I think I'm kind of like done with that. Talk show host, that type of thing seem like that would be interesting. Like say if you had your own talk show, right? Cause I can run circles around all type of topics. That's what I do because of my brain. And sometimes when I ain't thinking, it's like my brain just operates like this when I'm looking at something and gathering bits and pieces of information. Spoken word, I can say, probably build up to this as well as rapping. I'm thinking. because to be rapping and all that other stuff, doing spoken word on the top from the top of your head, is to help influence the way and position that you may end up going, even in the area of like talk show, podcasting, or talk show. I can see more probably podcasting. That's even more interesting because either way, you're still a host talking, carrying out the flow of conversation. But yeah, I can't really. Those days are gone. But my speech pattern, yeah, I recognize that. Because I had got so bad, and I don't know if I said this in one of my other videos. I had got so bad in talking back in like 2009, 2010, even in 2007, 2008, I had developed a habit, a bad habit, almost a ritual of talking in the form of rhymes during my conversation. And some people would get mad because they will be like, why when you talk you're rhyming? And I didn't understand that myself. So I had to kind of like break the curse. But yeah, my speech pattern, I don't know. It's like I was born to be somewhat like a loner, as many people out here are, that they intertwine with other beings, even living with other beings, right? And yet you're good at being a conversationalist, as I've been told. I don't know what the future holds in relation to the speech pattern. That them days, as I said, I keep repeating that, them days is over with the spoken word and rap. That's completely over. Everything has a season. But yeah. That's weird too for somebody to be asking, you know, about the speech pattern and the spoken word and then the rap and then the singing and all that. And then on top of them to ask you where are you going in your future. I can't even see that. I can't even see where my future is going. It's almost as if I'm aging right before your very eyes. I don't know. They say only the universe really knows. Sometimes I can see bits and pieces of where I'm going, but some of the stuff that I just recently did, I would have never thought I would have done. So I hope for big things, but sometimes I expect small things because I'm not sure. I mean, who's to say a person's going to even be alive 5 years from now? I might be dead and gone. You might be dead and gone 5 years from now. Nobody knows. I heard this pastor say that. I don't even go to church, and this pastor was saying that. He was saying, why live with a plan? Why live with a plan? Because nobody knows what 5 years holds. Now, some years back, I would have completely, totally disagreed with that man. I would have. But me listening to him and paying attention, I can't even remember his name. He's a black guy with a bald head, dark skin. And I seen the video on YouTube. But the longer I live, I see what he's saying. Because you can plan something right. You can come from something like how I came from spoken word, singing, writing songs, dancing a bit, making beats, right? My whole life now is in a whole different lane. And some of the choices that I choose to make quickly put me for better here, right? But when I kind of think back, it makes you wonder, like, I thought I was going in a whole different direction. It's like you kind of veer off. How you going straight, you're traveling in life, and then you think you're going to go left, but then you end up going right. And then you're like, well, how did I get here when I thought I was supposed to go over there? Right? So, do ask, he asked us all to be a part of that project, and I couldn't get on that because for me to even be a part of that and rapping, that does not feel right. It's like as if it no longer fits me. I just felt like not trying to say that was child's play on their end, because music for many is a hobby, and yet on my end, I just feel completely childish rapping. Like the only way, hold on. When I was sitting back, because my mom sent me a text message or something about songwriting, right? And we was in discussion about some stuff, like some projects and stuff like that over the phone where she's at. And so she had shown me a painting of a lady that's over there where she's at, whatever, painted. And so the lady, a lot of her stuff that she paints, she keeps for herself, because sometimes you can give so much of yourself away to people, you don't keep certain charms that you create. And so I had told my mom, much of the stuff, the older I get, much of the stuff that I create, I no longer want to give away. And that's even my voice. Like my voice stamping it on other people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to rapping, like for beats, the older I get this year, I made that decision to not really want to put my beats, unless it's like TV stuff or something like that. I just now want to keep my stuff for me as an artist, and not giving all my works away to other people. I don't know why that is. I just came up with that mindset this year. Like everything started to, many things I stopped. I just was like, okay, I started telling people, I can't do that no more. I can't do this no more. I can't do that no more. With this project, that's not going to work. I just feel totally invested in myself in 2018. Kind of like I was before years back, but this is totally different. Like the focus is all completely on me. Me not wanting to just get on people's stuff and rapping and singing. Even though I'm open to collaborations, but that part of me is like completely gone. What I was saying about mom, because mom is in the church and I don't really go to church, the only area that I would really be open to say rapping is if it's gospel rap, but not speaking on Jesus. Like, I know that's weird to say, but the only reason why I said that is because all this other rap serves no purpose. Like the older I get, the more I'm trying to define meaning and purpose, right? I can't be getting on other people's tracks just rapping about sexual stuff. Getting on their tracks with them because they rapping about violent stuff. Or just getting on tracks really trying to pull a female, with them. Because when you collaborate, the track is about them anyway. So if it's a man and you do a duet with him, he might be singing or rapping or doing both. Most people are doing both. And a lot of times you're doing both. And so the aim could be aimed towards a female. As you aiming, y'all both aiming the song towards her so he can grab her, him being the man, right? Or the song might be for you, me being a woman, aimed towards a man, and for him to show his jealousy and envy in the song, right? Because I'm interested in some other man, but not him. I'm saying love songs. Or even sexual songs, or whatever you want to call it, that these people call it. And then, or it could be a duet between you and him. Y'all both singing to each other, or singing and rapping to each other, however the setup. But it's just, I'm like no longer being interested. I feel like if I'm going to write about love, I should write to me and only me. as in how much I love and adore and admire myself, than to just be writing just stuff that people ain't gonna really hardly listen to anyway, writing with other people. Like, them days is something that's completely shifting. I'm completely changing and being altered is what's going on, for a better predicament, something that's bigger than even that itself. Because as I said before, music, people listen to music, but a lot of times they let stuff like that bypass their ears. Because most people like stuff that's seen and not what's completely heard. Especially if you're not a performer. I'm not a performer, so for me to just be releasing stuff with other people collaborating and they can't really see us singing and dancing on stage, that really don't serve a purpose. I don't think. Because remember, the longer we go, TV is being the takeover. Everything is about the image. And if you're not on stage, then people ain't gonna really want to listen to it. So my interest is like no longer there. But if I was to rap, see, this is the different thing. This is the different thing about gospel, though. I don't even go to church, and yet I would in fact do gospel music. You want to know why? Because with gospel, or even that genre in itself, whether it's hey, stop it. Whether it's gospel in the area of, say, hip hop-ish gospel, or rhythmic gospel, not in the lane of like love songs, but it's kind of soulful, but then again it's not completely soulful, right? But more so what a hip hop feel like. Say something Mary Mary does. Yeah, perfect example, Mary Mary. To do something like that, I could do something like that without completely going gospel. It will be like a gospel type of poppy sound, like a EDM mix with gospel. The only reason why I said that is because gospel, like a danceable gospel. The only reason why I say that is because gospel is known as inspiration, right? You ain't got to be all believing in Jesus Christ and all that gospel and all that other stuff. But gospel is just that. It don't mean gospel like that. It means the genre of inspiration. There's even a genre called inspirational. To give inspiration is to give life to other people. Is to give hope to other people. Right? And you ain't even got to step on stage to do it, because remember, that type of music is completely different to the masses than, say, just pop love songs. And it's completely different than, say, R&B that's served to the masses. It's completely different than hip hop served to the masses. It's inspirational. So it's the very thing which will captivate a person's thoughts. They wouldn't have to sing you. They wouldn't have to completely sing you singing and hopping around on stage. Because remember, people that listen to inspirational music, that's the point of them listening to it. It's for inspiration. See, the average R&B song is empty today in society. The average R&B song sings about love and talks about love, but it's completely empty to the fact that now they got to put sex in every single song, right? It's the same with hip hop. Hip hop is completely empty that now every song the rapper has to be just about dancing in it. And yet to do something like inspirational God songs, but it speaks almost of love and holding your head up high, is something that would actually in fact captivate listeners without them really turning it off, because it's still in the form of the area of God and the universe, however you want to say it. So to have those things linked together and have people listen to it, even in the car and the radio, is for them not to turn it off, because it's showing a connection to a higher source, a higher being. As I think about this on video, I don't don't know, I might consider doing that. Cause seeming dude, when he said about the project jumping on that, and I just wasn't feeling it, but sometimes I get to be thinking like, dude, what if I did a form of like gospel, but I really ain't completely on the rap. But I think it will work if I did it like that though. Because the reason why I'm really not on rap, because most rappers not saying nothing. And that's the thing. And for me, I'm kind of done and burnt out and tired on talking about love. Like between a lover, as in a man and a woman. I'm kind of burnt out on that. But if that was flipped, say rapping about love and inspiration, love mixed with inspiration in relation to the universe and God, I don't know. Like Mary Mary type of style. Because that's hip. When they had that song, It's the God in Me, that was my jam. I got two of they songs. That one, In the Morning, dun, 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 dun. That song, right? And It's a God in Me. Or my one favorite song is I'm walking. That song, I'm walking. That type of stuff I can get into. That's like on some praise break type of stuff. And yet I'm not really one to go to church, but I don't know. It's a completely different type of lane. I might have to check on that. Seeming we've been having conversations, but yeah, I had to bypass that project because, not saying that it was empty, but for some really, really weird reason, the older I get, everything has to have meaning behind it. Everything. Like since I jumped on the Oprah platform, everything that I do has to have some meaning and some purpose behind it. Like I can't just do stuff just to do it. Certain things I do just to push myself to do certain things, right? Just to have, because see, to form a habit is to sometimes do things that you don't want to do, or do things just to keep you on the move. That's life itself with anything. That's even getting out of the bed in the morning, right? But when it comes to projects, doing stuff with other people in the area of music, because the voice and the vocality, speaking, speech pattern, all that is a vehicle which drives a message. And I kind of don't want to be on anybody's project just speaking to be speaking. I can't see myself doing that, not no more. In my heydays, yeah, I used to get on that. All that was an experiment. I pointed on that before. But I can't get on nobody's CD, album cover, remix, whatever you want. I can't do that anymore. The older I get, just rapping on that stuff just to be rapping. See what I'm saying? It comes a point in time where you must mature, as in growing up, trying out new and different things, right? And seeing what fits. And yet for me, that no longer fits. That's like my childhood being set behind me, of just getting on a track, throwing some stuff together. Now, if my niece, because I got nieces and I got nephews, and say just kids in the family, if they wanted to do something like that, hip hopping around on a song, rapping, because my niece, she like that type of stuff, it still would have to be clean. I could only see myself doing that for her, as in rapping and recording it. Rapping, recording it, right? With my niece, or her wanting to say possibly do a dance song. But I just can't see myself doing that nowadays. Unless it was gospel. And it's so strange because when I sit here and I think about it, gospel, because gospel could be taken in any form. Like I said before, you don't need to say Jesus. You don't. If you wanted to relate to all beings, you don't have to. In all religions and all practices, you're just basically speaking life in the area of life meets source. That's what you're saying. If you were to do gospel, myself, I'm speaking on how human life meets source and is linked to source, and how source can feel better and not be sound devastated and going through trials and suffering all the time. You're giving praise to a source which has helped to formulate and create you, as well as help you withstand, right? If that makes sense. But there's in fact 40-year-old gospel rappers, and some of them is on stage, but you got many more that don't get on stage. I would never need to step foot on a person's stage, is all I'm saying. I don't have interest to. Because wardrobe and all that other stuff come with that, and the older I get, I'm just not on that. That's for children. I mean, even though you got grown people doing that type of stuff, that's not my lane. I want to do something that's more mature. I want to do mature things, adult type of things, adult friendly type of things, not baby childish things, not baby childish acts. And I'm saying in the manner of being perceived as a child. See, when you put yourself out there a certain way, that's how people interact with you. And yet some people get upset and mad when they're interacted with a certain way, and yet they totally forget and bypass their eyes on that's how they put themselves out there as. If you act like a child and you act like a baby, then that's how you're being perceived, and that's how people treat you. If you put yourself out there like you have no class, right? And you put yourself like you don't have class, and you're just throwing out all these sloppy bits for the world to see, then that's how they're going to disrespect you. That's just common sense. So the older I go, like I said before, everybody has childish ways. Look at how I dress. Somebody might consider this to be childish, right? But to step foot on somebody's stage, that's a whole different thing. That's a complete representation of myself, to get on stage and say be performing or something like that. To me, I can't really be doing kiddie type of stuff like that, because once you step into something and you start doing it, that's what people expect you to continue to do. Look at the kids that was on Brady Bunch. What they call typecasting, how you typecast yourself. You go and you do something, and you do something so much that now people can't get what you doing anything else besides what you've been doing for so long. So to prevent that, they call it the Peter Pan syndrome. When people get on stage, certain celebrities had the Peter Pan syndrome. They got on stage and they act so childlike that they got locked and stuck in that they couldn't escape it, and they died in that, right? There comes a point of growing up, as in maturing, that all people can relate to, and not just children. I'm saying for me. Now, it helps to keep a healthy mindset of a childhood as well, which is why you have art form. But for me, when I step on stage, I just can't do that rap thing. I can't do it unless I'm saying something about something. I don't want to sit and talk about police brutality. That's not really my interest either. Let them have that, the movements and all that. I don't want to sit and talk about that either. Because see, some of the people that got caught up in police brutality, not all of them, but some of them is just as guilty as well as the police. So leave that there. But gospel, the only reason why, see, I can't really fit in. This could turn into a whole conversation, hours long. I can't really fit in with the gospel world, because remember, I'm a sinner. And usually they don't accept sinners. Not completely, not totally, not fully. But for me to have as much skills as I have as in talents musically wise and being a musical genius, nobody could ever tell me what I can and can't write and speaking when if and when I speak on God in the form of a song. Nobody can tell me that. Not even the Christian people or church people can tell me that. Because remember, to be created by a God or a universe is to take it up with that thing, source, whatever it is. That's the only individual, whatever, that can tell you, such as God, universe. They the only one that can tell you what you can and can't do. So, going back to what I was saying, if I did gospel, I'm trying to see how that will play out. Because see, that project was presented to me. When was that? That was back in March, in mid-March. And I just kind of let it go, like that's not going to work. It was a good collaborative team, and they put in good effort, even with chords and all that other stuff, but I just was not on that. It wasn't nothing personal against them. It's a personal problem. Here, where I'm sitting at, is what I'm trying to say. It has nothing to do with them. All these collaborations and people wanting to team up, it has nothing to do with them. It's just I'm being altered for something more progressing. You know, anytime you open your mouth, especially, and we're living in a culture right now, they don't want to hear, your average person don't want to hear nothing that's saying anything of any type of meaning, as in definition. Your average person, especially black person, your average everyday American black person wants to hear about drama. I'm not really with that. Because see, drama doesn't really evolve and revolve in my household. We don't really practice all that around here. So, them days is gone as well. You know, to grow older and more mature is to hopefully grow more wise. And that's the actual direction I'm going into. It's the actual direction I'm going to. I had studied many of her teachings and some of her inspirational teachers, you know, who have actually, you know, appeared on her shows and stuff like that. That's my mind. That's where I'm going. It's more mellow, gentle, mild, and laid back, which is why I appear to many people more boring than I used to be. I think I said this before. The reason why I come across more boring than I was, say, on Facebook and Twitter, because I'm going that route. Because see, when you are doing music and you're entertaining people with drama, that stuff tends to get out of hand. That stuff starts to play out in your household. It has to. It has no choice. Because remember, what you put out into the world, in fact, comes back. And it's also a reflection of you. So if you claim to not be a dramatized type person, and yet you keep feeding the masses with dramatization, then that shows, in fact, who you are. Although you put on a cover and try to act like something else. Dramified people love drama, which is why they release it. That's why when it comes to somebody like Oprah Winfrey, that's why I'm drawn to Oprah Winfrey, because she don't really practice all that. And if she does, say, in the area of putting certain stuff out the media to drive sales, right, that type of drama is more mild. It's not intensified. It's not something that you feel stress from. Some of these celebrities put out stuff, and it literally makes you sick to your stomach because it's so intense with drama. And it makes you wonder how their household is, because to put out something like that that's completely orchestrated in that fashion is to know it has to come back. What you put out in the atmosphere is always coming back, as in a reflection. So that's some of the part of the reason why, too, I tone down on certain things. on social media, because I started to pay attention to how certain celebrity individuals was putting out intensity type of drama to drive sales. It's an energy behind that just makes you feel completely sick, you know. And so to not have drama all like that is to, people don't understand the energy of drama is the very thing that would in fact make you sick. It is, especially if you're an empath. You know, you hold empathy, or you're an empath. Many people out here are like that. That's me. You feel the energy of others as well you feel energy itself. How big and powerful energy can be. You know, like, I just feel like a person shouldn't have to drop off all their clothes just to show and expose their body just to get attention to drive sales. Like, it comes to a point where maturity has to exist in that. Because if not, then it looks like you're attention starved and craving attention. Desperation. That's what it comes across as. And people might get excited in seeing that, but I myself, the older I get, I'm no longer on that type of stuff. I don't have no interest. I don't want to be standing and sitting next to nothing that's completely desperate for like fame type of stuff, like, or to keep it going. I don't really like that type of stuff, because those individuals will step on your face to get to where they're going, and many of them have. So I'm changing. I just feel like, yeah. Oh, and another thing, you know, I just feel like the message needs to be in the music. The message because what I noticed was, when I'm listening to something, it could be music that I'm listening to, right? And it's like, if it doesn't have a message of some importance, I notice I completely be listening to it on my iPod, and yet my thoughts start to drift off somewhere else. It's like I hear it, but I don't. It's as if it's not there. That's what I'm saying. When I have listened to, say, like rap music. Because see, love music is a whole different genre, but like rap music, all these years of me having all these different albums that I got, collections of albums that I listen to, and even in the iPod and in the car, walking down the street or anything, you know, when you listen to a song and it don't have no important message, pay attention to how quick your attention span ain't on it no more. I'm saying, like Drake. I love Drake. He cool. I don't know him personally, but I can listen to that man's music and be there 1 second in attention, and then the next minute I'm drifting off to sleep somewhere else, because it's the song is empty. So when a lot of times when a song speaks about, say, women, fast cars, and money, that type of stuff, it put me to sleep. It's like candy. It's like candy filled with a whole bunch of sugar. Tranquilizers, right? You're listening to it and you hear it, and yet there's nothing there. So you completely zone out, and all you hear is that beat. And it's as if you're hearing it, but you're not hearing anything at all. Because remember, it's made of nothing at all. There's no substance. That's the point. But when I listen to a Talib Kweli, dude from back in the day who was a pure lyricist from Brooklyn, New York, I listen to him and he's talking about political stuff, a political stance and politics, and you know, how religions are basically one and the same, although they've been divided by labels and titles and stuff like that. When I hear stuff like that, it's like my eyes and my ears open up. Because even if he has a song, Talib Kweli has a song, or even an album, and say there's no cussing on it, in a sense, his albums could be considered gospel albums. Yes, they could, if there's no cussing involved. And there's no constant saying the nigga. See, that's gotta go too. I don't really agree with constantly saying nigga. as in calling each other nigga. That's not cool either. I question the conspiracy about that. There's no point in be calling your brother and sister nigga all day. I'm saying in greeting. I'm not saying, because see, there's been niggas that I don't like, and they know that I don't like them, which is why I call them the very thing in which they are. But those are the type of people I don't like, and they know it. But I'm saying in greeting, you shouldn't be saying, what's up, my nigga? That's degrading yourself. It very much is. If you're going to call somebody a nigga, call somebody that you don't like. Because remember, that's who they call them. That's what they call themselves, right? Many people that I call nigga, and they understand that I call them that, many of them people don't like themselves. That's what they call themselves. So I call them that. I call them what they want to be hearing. But to say, what's up, my nigga, and they're your best friend, you shouldn't do that. To me, you shouldn't. That's degrading. It is. Degrade people that don't like themselves. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. It just rapping, for me, I can't really see that working out. He gonna be like, man, it's long. I can't really see that working out. I can and I can't. Let me see. Because see, gospel, as in gospel music, has a different type of feel. That type of thing, you ain't even got to perform it in church, right? And yet they can use that. I'm saying the song that you recorded. If you rap the song and you sing on it, that type of thing can be used in different churches. And I think that's one of the things that I like, even though I don't go to church and I wouldn't go to church. I say I'm called and asked to go over something like that. But no, I'm not going in the realm of Al Green and Aretha Franklin, how they was gospel singers and they went sinful. I just was considering thinking like, dude, like EDM music, a hip hop-ish beat EDM music. I don't like anything that's empty. You shouldn't serve people in entertainment, although I was guilty for that in my past, only because I was trying out different things. But I feel like if you're an entertainer or doing entertainment, period, you shouldn't serve people stuff, empty pieces on a plate. Like if you're serving people things, let it be full. Let it something that they can consume and get enjoyment from, and put it over to the side if they want to leave some for later and come back to it, right? But let them feel full and wholesome after they obtain that message. I'm not slandering Little Yachty. Is that his name, Little Yachty? He type be on BET and all that. I mean, fun rap music is cool. It serves its purpose, but at the same time, it's got to have some balance, like my mom says. Something has to be spoken and spoken of. You know? Something has to be really spoken of. It can't just be, well, I got a nice house. I got a nice car. I got a nice woman. Got a nice chain. Like, that's not enough. Is that it? That's all you got? Because as I'm looking from the far, it looks completely broke. I'm asking, where's the rest of the message, as in the meat and potatoes? So, as we go, we'll figure it out. But I don't really like that whole dancing around with it. That's not my thing, because see, the older I become, not only am I becoming more mature, but I'm becoming more laid back. You know, laid back as a heart attack. You feel what I'm saying? That's just how I am. Calm, cool, and collective. like a vibe, like a airy type of vibe that you just roam through the air freely. That's my vibe. Not to be jumping up and bouncing around. That's too much. Not to be almost 40 years old. If I was to really release a rap song with a good tempo at 40 years old, I'm telling you now, it would have to be something in the realm of the gospel. And I'm not saying the Bible and Jesus. I ain't saying none of that. I'm saying as in speaking on law of attraction. Somebody might say that's not gospel, yet it is. Law of attraction, believing in yourself, knowing, understanding there's hope, knowing there's a guide bigger than yourself, a guide, knowing that there's an intuition within you that is in fact your internal GPS, which helps keep you alive and guides you to bigger and brighter things as in relation to your future. So I would have to speak on stuff like that. It's no more speaking on anything from this day forwards. No more speaking on anything that's empty. Because even myself play a part in that. I would look quite foolish just speaking on stuff that is not saying anything. And yet that was once my guilty pleasure. And once again, all days just end. All good things come to an end. I know better now. To know better is to do better, which is what I'm working on. So if I'm asked, hear me, if I'm asked to do any more collaborations, you know where we're going in the realm of the inspiration. Inspirational sounds. Even with that experimentation of the EDM, trying to bring the soul back, like the soulful, like that soulful house music, almost trying to bring that as a layer on top of hip hop sound. Not the sample, but a EDM hip hop beat. But layering it with classic house music, as in the organs and stuff like that, because I like the robotic sound of house, but I also miss that authentic, organic keyboard sound or organs in place of the plastic. I mean, you can have a little bit here and a little bit there, but yeah, we'll discuss that one later. But yeah, collaborations is all good. They keep your mind open for ideals, and not only that, they present mental gymnastics and trying to figure out what you want to try out. What you want to try out. Because in the past, I was going to work with a band that was my uncle and them, but they had their own thing going. So I'm always open for input, but I've decided a change of lanes speaks further, as in finding out as we go. And I try not to stress myself out, because for some weird reason, I said this before, for some weird reason, people keep asking me what comes next. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even know. Now, back in the day, I would have been like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to try out writing this, because see, writing is at the center of it, period. Writing is all at the heart of it. But it's like I want to try new things in the realm of film, and then take sound with it, but change up different things differently than what I've done in the past. Trying out new things. One thing I do got a few songs. I know I had Coming Home to You. There was a few gospel songs that I did that I tried out, because I tried out different styles. I tried out different styles. You have to. But with me rapping, yes, Coming Home to You, I tried out rapping. I actually liked that track, but it was more singing but I didn't really try out the rap of completely lyrical, because see, Coming Home to You was like a love song. It was like presenting a message of God, the universe, whatever you choose to call it, and saying, I'm completely here for you. I love and adore you for the simple fact that you created me. That's what that song that I wrote about was about. So it was singing and rapping, more singing than anything. So it was love, but it wasn't like a higher level of, let me speak on what you can be as an individual and a human reaching your full potential. I would love to try out stuff like that in the art form of gospel, because it takes it up a notch. It takes it up a notch, but not only that, it keeps my mind around sticking close to spoken word, if not rap, though I'm not really interested in rap. But that in itself could help even improve my hand in the area of writing. Even writing for other people. Moving to the South as well, because many of them Southern people like gospel and listen to gospel, knowing that gospel, a lot of it is come from the South anyway. So, I don't know. I just, sometimes I get like irritated, and I don't say it. I get irritated sometimes when people say, well, what comes next? It frustrates me because I don't know. I'm not the universe. I'm not God to say, well, this is coming next. Even though they say, and I do believe that you control your life and your destiny, but I don't believe that wholeheartedly. I believe that to a percentage. Because if that was the case, certain things that popped up in my life, I would have actually prevented from showing up. Certain roadblocks that come up in life. If you completely control every single step of your way in life, right, then you will actually prevent roadblocks. And yet those very things I couldn't prevent. So in a sense, that showed me that we don't control all of our life. Some people think we do, but we don't. So I really don't know what comes next. I don't. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I do. You know what I'm saying? There was, in the past, for some odd weird reason, there were certain things that I could see that was going on or on its way coming to me. I could actually see it. But now I can't see it. It's like it's completely blocked. It's like all pitch black there. I don't see anything. Maybe it's meant for me to not see it. And then for some weird reason, it seemed like in life with different experiences, though I'm getting better at doing things, and though, good surprises have came to me, and I've been blessed with many things, I still feel like I'm the same person almost. I do. Like you change and you evolve somewhat, but sometimes you feel like you're the same person, but only pieces of you been altered, taken away, and new pieces added. Sometimes I'll be like, man, I feel like I'm not getting that far in life. It feels that way all the time. You could be given something the biggest blessing ever, and yet after you get it, after so many months, years go by, and you be like, man, I feel like I'm still behind in life. I feel like that. That was one of the main reasons why I was like, when I spoke on rap, like, I don't think I want to be doing that, because when I rap, do stuff like that, it makes me feel like I'm pushing myself in reverse. Because remember, not everybody has an open mind to hear other rap. People think a rap is dangerous. They do. They're closed off to it because how it's been represented to the world. Which is why for a while I had to put it down, like, you know what, I can't be associated with this thing because it's always speaking of darkness, destruction, and death with no life in between. And yet as I've been scoping out a little bit, like, man, gospel sounds real interesting. Gospel is intriguing. That's something I haven't really just got in the center of and stuck it out to see where it could actually pivot without talking about Jesus, just doing it like Joel Osteen. But I don't read Bibles, but I love inspiration and motivational speakers. That's the highest thing you can do. Sometimes even more so than speaking on the Bible and God and Jesus. I mean, speaking on the Bible and Jesus. Sometimes just speaking motivation, period, could be an inspiration to people in song format. We find out as we go. Because see, even in that, if I was to rap a song out, seeing I was asked whatever, all this being asked stuff, I try not to let it make me angry. But even in gospel behind that, see, before you do any type of project, you have to figure out how your tone is going to be, how your speech pattern is going to be, your delivery, everything. Because to come across too forceful, being a woman on a track, me being me being an artist trying to try out gospel, say in the form of rap, would almost sound dangerous. No, what's the word for it? If I did a gospel track rapping on it, it almost sounds violent, is what I'm trying to say. Which is why you gotta have like a middle ground. But I wouldn't want to do a track where I'm too laid back. I don't like that. I wouldn't want to do a track where I'm on a track rapping as a female and I'm laid back like I was doing spoken word. That wouldn't work either. That's too soft. Because I already carry a masculine perspective anyway in how I do everything. It's not that I'm trying, that's just my demeanor. But to be powerful is to say, it's to propel. It's almost like how when I think about it, rap and gospel, if I did something like that, I wouldn't step on nobody's stage. But it will almost be in the form of like Queen Latifah. When she did U-N-I-T-Y, U-N-I-T-Y. Like, I love that U-N-I-T-Y, U-N-I-T-Y. Just the way that when she came across with that, her delivery was real forceful, right? It was dangerous, like right then, but it wasn't like it was violent, but it almost sounded like that because see, to be a female rapper is to spread the message. And the only way really to be heard is if you propel forward, as in vocal delivery. Nobody's going to stand and listen to you if you just, yo, because I was on the microphone. Da-da-da-da-da. That's too 80s. Nobody is going to want to hear it. That's why Queen Latifah came out here, what was that other day? Just another day living in the hood. Just another day round the way. Feeling good today. Yeah, that song too. Just another day living in the hood. Living another day. I liked that one too. But I love Queen Latifah's vocal delivery when she raps. That's a powerhouse in itself. I tried to follow that a little bit when I was rapping last year, which is like when I kind of stopped. I say kind of stopped. Well, completely stopped. Last year I borrowed from the essence of Queen Latifah, but I don't know. I'm just going through this cleaning process. Cleaning up my whole everything. I don't really want stuff around me that's too dramified. I spoke on that. I really don't want celebrity type of stuff that's around me that is just thinking they gotta take their clothes completely off and drop stuff just to get, more whatever. Because it looks like desperation after a while. I ain't with that. And then that's drama fueled. Mm-hmm. Trying to do things more clean. Like I'm trying to do things more clean. Cleaning up stuff, cleaning up house, cleaning up shop, cleaning up my mind, working on cleaning up how I eat, how I process information, just cleaning up everything. Trying to be a real squeaky clean individual. Serious. That whole transformation didn't start until somewhere around when I came across the Oprah platform. To be honest with you, that's when the whole cleaning process began. I said, you know what? My life is not right. Who's to say it's not right? But I felt I needed to actually etch myself for better, as in cleaning up. I did that by choice. Getting rid of things, not listening to that, not watching that. Literally sitting up in this house sometimes in complete silence and quietness. Notice how I'm on camera and there's no background noise. Sometimes it is, but I've been trying to force myself to be in a quiet zone. Not being on social media constantly all day, as in taking a break and not just being on there posting stuff just to have something to post, right? And actually flipping that and doing YouTube in its place. Going through a cleaning process. I actually like it. Some days I don't. Sometimes you can change stuff and miss or feel like you're missing out on something, as in your old ways. Sometimes when you change your ways, you feel like you're missing out on certain things that you used to do in the old. But you know to go back there will be a lost cause on your end. So you just keep moving forward. I'm trying to be a better individual. Trying to be a better individual. I have no interest of babysitting drama. None of that. None of the detail of nothing. And not only that, I start to notice somewhere about 2014, 2015, I started to notice that drama itself, because see, even serving drama and marketing is to drive sales, right? But with certain things back then, I started to notice it started to give me anxiety. I don't know why the older I get, certain types of drama fuels anxiety within me. Which is, I think, the universe telling me to stop. As in not be around it, don't be around individuals that's into that. Not with marketing, but just day-to-day life. If I see and notice drama is going on, I'm quick to separate myself. Because I just know anxiety waits on the other side. I don't know why that is. Like the older I get, everything is changing. Before, I could sit in it and be like, you know what, this is really getting on my nerves. And then I would crack an attitude and possibly go off on whoever's serving the drama. Or even if I played a part of it, right? But now I just be like, you know what, move away. But yeah, bro. So when you watch the video, you'll know how I feel. As in a representation, as in all newness. Only way to tell is as life continued to present itself. It's just many things I don't even want to talk about no more. It's nothing personal towards certain individuals, but they even sense it because they said it. Just not interested about many things I don't even care about no more. As if it's not front line and center in my world no more. Those things is gone. But yeah, I'ma holla back. Yeah, holla back. We'll figure it out.